morning. My name is Zach Schiffer, and welcome to our Pentecost prayer journey with North Hills Church. This is day 18, and today we are looking at a verse from Joshua chapter 6, verse 4. It says this: "On the seventh day, march around the city 7 times. On the seventh day, march around the city 7 times." This verse comes from the story of the Israelites coming into the promised land, and the first thing they encounter is a mighty fortress of the city of Jericho. And God tells them to wage very unconventional warfare against this city. The city is blocking their progress to the promised land, and they've just spent 40 years wandering the desert, waiting for their chance to enter the land. And so I would hope that they were pretty gung-ho to go, take the city. But God kind of slows them down a little bit. And he tells them that every day for 7 days, they're going to walk around this city, and they're going to sing songs and, pray, pray over the city and stuff. And so every day they make 1 lap until the 7th day. And they make 7 laps that day. And when they blow on these trumpets and they all scream kind of all together at the priest's command, not the general of the armies, Joshua, but at the priest's command, they all start yelling and cheering, and they blow the trumpets and stuff like that, and the walls fall. That's what Scripture tells us, that the walls fall down. Well, archaeological evidence has found this city in Israel, and they know it's Jericho because the walls, what they found was that the walls fell outward, not inward, the way that usually walls come down when a city is besieged. And that's just how God works. He works in ways that we don't expect. He works in unconventional methods in his miracles, and he goes and fights our battles for us. And so I want to propose an idea to you today. Maybe it's time to get out of your prayer chair or off the couch and go for a walk. I have walked some of my prayers out, and I know many others who have too. And sometimes just going for a walk, maybe circling that thing you're praying for, can add a lot of clarity, can give you this moment with God that you hadn't had previously. And often it just emboldens us to keep praying, because we need to pray this through and see it through until God's timing is right for that miracle. But I want to encourage you nevertheless to get up and to go for a walk. Let me share a quick testimony story with you. I grew up at a church called Mountain Park Church. It's a church that North Hills, our church, helped plant. And that church was praying for a property, meeting in a school for many years. And they were praying for a property and had to get out of a school, and they actually walked around a specific piece of land many times praying for that piece of land. And God provided a different piece of land in the first chapter of the story. And we built a building, and we're there for like 20 years. But then when the 202 freeway was being built, that building had to be demolished because the freeway was going to go right over the top of it. And yet God continued to provide, because ADOT decided to sell, as part of the deal of purchasing the old property from us, decided to sell at a really good deal that property that our church had previously walked around for many years, hoping to be positioned on that piece of land in that community. ADOT owned it now, and ADOT threw that into the deal so that our church could move and build on that new site that 20 years prior we've been praying over. That's a God-sized move. That's a God-sized miracle, and it was in his timing. But there were faithful people who continued to pray. So I don't know what you're praying for today. You might be circling a child who doesn't know Jesus in prayer. Maybe it's even your adult child. You might be praying for the reconciliation of a broken marriage or a past divorce. That takes a God-sized miracle for those things to happen. Keep praying, keep circling. And those things are harder to go walk around and circle around. but you might get creative. You might find the solution. So I want to just encourage you today. Keep praying, and maybe it's time to get up and go for a walk. Congratulations, you guys have made it with me all the way to day 18, and this has been an incredible journey. Keep it up. Keep praying.